Hello, it's Bruce, GC Rail fan. Bringing you today a very rare video of mine because I don't upload anything these days, so I'm basically non-existent on YouTube. But anyway, I wanted to bring you some thoughts on TSW. Today, I've forgotten what the date is. That's off to a good start, isn't it? As usual. It is the 27th September 2018. We've had a very interesting announcement from Dovetail Games. I'll get on to the specific web pages and content of that in a moment. But first of all, I want to say something about TSW, and I am calling out DTG on this. I'm calling out Matt Pedleston because I think some questions will need to be answered by the end of this video for the sake of our community and for the sake of third-party developers. And I am talking about developers such as Bossman Games, Digital Traction, Steam Sound Supreme, Mesh Tools, Victory Works, you know, the major third-party payware guys in particular, and also probably some of the freeware developers, some of the well-known names in that sort of fraternity, and also the community on UKTS, who I'm not well connected with, but nevertheless, they all contribute to our basically our gaming experience with Train Simulator in general, have done for years for the various simulators that we've played with. And I feel at the moment, all of those developers and the community are being let down. And I mean being let down majorly. And that includes us as a community. We end up coming up short-handed. I'll tell you for why. On the screen in front of you, you can see I found the video of the future train simulation. Now, there's something I want to point out about this. The reason I've brought this up is because some of the stuff of what Matt Pedleston says in this video. So I'm hoping not to get a copyright strike on this. Not that it matters anymore because I'm not money tied. Cheers, YouTube tossers. Oops, I said that. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, Mr. Pedleston here, the well-built fellow on the left, did say some interesting stuff on this original video from 2 years ago this month, about the future of Train Simulator. And it was from September 2016. And I remember watching this video for the very first time, and I was in the middle of Norfolk with some friends enjoying the North Norfolk Steam Gala. We retired for the evening back to our accommodation, and we watched it, and we had a very interesting discussion about it because we're all rail simmers. But let me just quickly show you something. Ignore the stuff on the side. I get some really weird stuff recommended to me. But anyway, oh, Ashens. But anyway, notice down here, future of Train Simulator. I'm trying to highlight it. Unlisted. This video has been unlisted. Now, whether that's because it's been unlisted because it's no longer deemed as relevant to Dovetail Games or the procession of how things have gone with TSW, I don't know. But I did kind of find that funny why they would unlist it. I mean, most companies just leave them there and let you watch them, even if they're well out of date. Just kind of like a thing they do, isn't it? So that's already triggered a curious mind. But anyway, to the video, and I'll explain more as we go along. Basically, I'll just turn the volume down a little bit. He's rambling there. Yeah, this is obviously from the pre-alpha footage and everything. I remember this coming out as public beta. Right, there we go. And it's quite interesting because some of the stuff that's said in this video here in front of us is relevant to what I'm going to say today about the editing software. Hence my point about third-party developers. So we'll wait and see.
Will there be multiplayer?
There absolutely will be multiplayer in Train Sim World. Absolutely, we've been.
That's something else I meant to crop on. Did you just hear that as well? Let's watch that again.
Question from the gamer 567 in our community is: will there be multiplayer?
Well, we still haven't seen it, but This is only a secondary point in my video, but anyway, that's another thing they've let us down on. We still haven't seen that yet. 2 years, DTG. 2 years so far. We've not had a single hint of this. Not even any alphas, any teasers, anything. Not even a progress report on how this is going. You've not said anything, because this is obviously quite a major point. If you had an update, you would have told the community. We haven't heard it. Therefore, us, the community, and you guys watching are being let down on that point. We still haven't heard anything.
There absolutely will be multiplayer in Train Sim World, absolutely. I'm really excited to deliver multiplayer in Train Simulator for some time. And with the...
Excited to bring it for some time. Yeah, well, funny how there used to be a video online about multiplayer in the train sim with the engine we've got currently, TS 2018, but we never saw that surface, did we? Oh, and it's disappeared off YouTube. That's funny, isn't it?
way that we've been able to build Train Sim World, we can do that.
So another burning question that we've had, obviously, a lot of people have investment, and Martin Dobmeyer has asked, will his add-ons still be compatible?
So TS1, TS 2017.
This was a big issue for the community, and obviously, as most of us know, that weren't going to be possible because you're going from one game engine to another. And this is where it leads into the editing software bit. There was a clip of editing software in here. I really cannot be bothered to sit through 10 minutes of this drivel again for the second time in my life to try and find it.
Will remain. You're not going to lose
there
that.
was mention.
All your add-ons and your investment in TS 2017 remains. But
so there won't be anything bringing over. You've got your software, everything is still perfect, but actually this is a new area.
It's a new area. There's no backward compatibility at all between the two. And we've done that for a very specific reason. If you're going to be backward compatible, you're fundamentally limited as to how much you can extend what you want trying to do.
More so of a reason. That was a really bad time to pause that video on his face. It looks like he's going to sneeze.
Yeah,
that's better. The thing is, that's where the critical element of we need third-party content in this game sooner rather than later. That's where this element comes in. This is where it gets quite critical. Obviously, the video goes on and on about various points of the matters, etc., etc. Let me just find it. That's the second bit. Right. Okay, so in front of me on this web page, yeah, I get the cookies. We have the updates. Let me just zoom in a bit because this will appear a bit bigger on your screen as well. So obviously this is the article that's appeared. It's on Dovetail Live. If you go full screen HD, whatever I upload it in, you should be able to see it's live.dovetailgames.com, and you'll be able to find it there. You'll be able to find it in the forums as well. Okay, right. So they've basically given us a critical update. It is basically an update that we have wanted to hear for a long time. It's only taken them 2 years from that video to make their minds up what the bloody hell they're doing with it. To me, one of the first things they should have released was the bloody editing tools in the first place. But the jury's out on that. There's a lot of people who disagree with me on that matter, and I can totally understand why. But if you're bringing out a new game, what's the point of not having an editor? Because then you're stagnating and making a monopoly on who's making what content for Train Sim World, which again is another point straight in the bag, hook, line and sinker, for my point on third-party development. Basically, the editor tools are based on the Unreal 4 engine, for those who haven't followed this yet. So they've had to do a lot of work on it. I understand that. It's only available on PC, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Right. The editor will be the same as what we use to make our own routes, locos, and gameplay for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So you should be able to make your own locomotives, wagons, coaches, routes, and scenarios, all the same content that we can make. Hang on, there's a problem with that. In the early announcement, and this, my heart goes out to console players. You know, I mean, it's not their fault that they have kind of been let down in a way with this on the console side. That's not their fault. They're just consumers at the end of the day, same as us on PC. They're still a part of our community. Despite them saying what you see in the screen in front of you, the editor that will be released is only going to be for PC, and will only make add-ons for the PC version because it can't translate across complicated programming stuff I don't understand to the console versions. So how can they just say what they just put there? Basically, they're saying if people want to get into this, they need to start learning now. Blah 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 blah. Download the Unreal 4 editor, watch YouTube. You know, because it's different working with the editor for TSW and making add-ons and assets for TSW than it is for the conventional train simulator that we currently use at this moment in time. Get your hands on the tools. Yeah, basically they're looking at getting it into an open beta, and they haven't got a specific date yet, but we could be waiting a matter of weeks, a matter of months, could be another 6 months before we even get our hands on the tools as a community. And to me, this is just stagnating the development and longevity of Train Simulator, Dovetail games, and Train Sim World as a whole. Is stagnating it. It is not helping us. That's great. Coming. Simigraph. Aha. Okay, some of this I don't really know about. Hands up, I do not own TSW. I've not driven it, I've not played it. And there's a very good reason why I have not done that. So, as we transition over to here on the Dovetail forums, there's something I do want to show you. Let me just explain something. I have not purchased TSW. I have not played it. I've not done the beta. I've not done anything to do with it. And I'll tell you for why. I will only purchase a sim for trains and railways like TSW when I know there is a bit more variety in assets and routes, and also what the stance is for third-party developers. And this is a very big point for me. Some of you might be saying, why are you bothered? I'll tell you why I'm bothered. Because we have in our community a core group of excellent payware developers who have come from various pedigrees of modeling backgrounds, some not at all, and they've worked their way up to the top stop, basically. And that's the thing, you know, we've got a wide base, we've got a lot of talent, and these people for years have made us great content that we've always loved, we've always enjoyed, we've always got really frustrated with and told someone to read the effing manual. But I just feel so disheartened and mad. I feel mad that Dovetail Games have not basically accommodated so far for third-party developers. From what little I know in the development circles, because I'm not really in a development position, I understand there's a lot of stress. I understand it's a lot of time, resources, tears, frustration, anger, drawings, the cost of everything. I understand that. To the payware developers, I take my hat off to you. You guys really do pull out all the stops for us. And those who have been true innovators as of the last couple of years, Victory Works, DT, Mesh Tools, Bossman Games, Railright, you guys have pushed the boundaries even further. You have found ways to make the current train sim more advanced. You have a core base knowledge, I will say, a core base knowledge of how things should be and what people want in train sim. We want stuff that performs well. We want Steam logos with a performance mode, so if we've got a bit of a potato PC, we can get an extra 10 frames per second, save on performance, you know, stuff like that, or whatever it is. I mean, BMG's just implemented that on the Jubilee and it works well. You know, I believe the DT, yeah, I do know actually, the DTN2 came with performance mode, and that works just as well. And it's great because it just alleviates the stress on your little computer a little bit more. And it's stuff like that that makes a big difference to us, a massive difference. But I've heard something quite worrying So I'm in the comments section for the TSW update. Obviously, if I click read more, it goes back to, well, it should go back. It'll link us back to that, I think. Yeah, it's linked us back to the same thing. So bearing that in mind, if I just scroll down, one of the worrying things was this right in front of me. Comment by Sage. Pretty excited about the upcoming content creation tools to TSW, but I just have to ask, will the modded content that people make for TSW be published through the Steam Workshop, as I hope I predicted before TSW came out? And it says yes on Steam Workshop. We'll have more information on this in a future Studio Update article. Great. You've answered this question, but DTG, Matt, whoever's on the development team, I'm calling you out. We need an update sooner rather than later. I want to know something. And I'm going to take the bullet for the developers here. I don't really have any affiliation at all with any developers. I really don't. I'm just a guy who plays Train Sim and has some very good mates because of the community that brought us together. But I'm going to take a bullet from DTG. Please answer honestly and honourably and publicly. Why have you not stated what the current position is with third-party developers such as Mesh Tools DT, BMG, Just Trains, etc., on when they're going to be able to make stuff for Trains in World, how it's going to encourage business for them and yourselves, and how and when they are going to be able to sell it. What avenues can they take? Currently, as we know, the majority of payware developers take their products to their own website. DT have always done this, bar the E2MT, I believe. SSS have always done this. BMG just made an announcement, Bossman Games made an announcement himself, that he was going to do most of it from his own website now. And that's what we do currently. What we really need to be asking as a community is, what are we going to expect? What are we going to expect from our trusted third-party developers for Train Sim World? Are they actually going to be forcibly told to sell everything they make for TSW through Steam, which is unfair on them because Steam takes a large proportion, well, I say a large proportion. Basically, there's more payments to give out. If they sell via Steam, that means the third-party developers get a less of a profit because Valve take a cut, and I think DTG, I could be wrong, someone will correct me, will take a cut as well. And that means these third-party developers will struggle to survive. Many people who are third-party developers do this for a living. This is their job. This is their love. This is their passion. And if things aren't done right, DTG is not only going to completely screw those developers, DTG are also going to screw over our community. They're also going to screw over Train Sim completely and utterly. And that's the last thing we need. That is the last thing we need. Honestly. Because we've just got a new game out. It's for the next generation. Well, we'll call it the next generation of Train Simulator, right? As they called it. But you cannot sustain a new game if you do not have the editors there. You do not welcome third-party developers to make stuff for them, bolster the community, and ensure the longevity and sales of the core game. DTG, you've got a lot to answer for, and we do expect answers. We want answers. But I really do think it's about time that the third-party developers were let in and spoken to and told the truth about their work and how it will be affected by TSW. When are they going to get the editing tools themselves? How is it going to impact their business and yours? How are they going to be able to release it? And are DTG going to negotiate with third-party developers? Because the way it seems currently is they're forcibly trying to get developers out the market so they have a monopoly, which I'm strongly against, because that means we're just tied to a bland variety of add-ons at a slower rate of production from DTG, or are they welcomely going to say, right, okay, guys, that's fine. Upload them to your own website. You sell them. This is how you get them into the game. Job done. We need to know. Come on, DTG. It's about time you tell us. I think people paying £40 for a game, it's very expensive. I'll see you soon.